Welcome to today's Pit Bike Masterclass. Today we're doing a service on the Honda Crf110f. Going to do an oil service, going to clean the air filter. I do this every 10 or so hours. I've had the engine running for a little bit now, just to warm up that oil, and if there's any particulates, any soot, anything like that that's still in the oil, it should have moved around by now, and when we drain it, we're going to be taking everything out. Okay, this is really nice and simple. I've actually removed my skid plate just to show you guys a little bit better, but we're going to undo this bolt, not the one on the side, the one directly under. Get a power bar. So you'll just need something to dump your oil into. Should be about 1 litre in this bike, and then I just use the power bar to crack that open initially. Okay, now before I take that all the way out, just want to loosen this, and we are going to have to hold the bike vertical once I drop the sump plug. Try to keep it in there as best you can. Okay, here we go. There we go. Now you want your bike on a level surface, so when it drains fully, and then obviously I'm holding it upright. You can do this with a center stand, but I find it just to be a whole lot easier if you lean it up against the wall. Just throw it on my work surface so I could show you guys how I do mine. What I would recommend, fit yourself an hour meter. You can see mine's on 132, so I'm about 2 hours overdue on service. However, that was during the last ride that we went a bit overtime. Not a problem at all. But I do try to stick to every 10 hours, dropping oil, cleaning air filter. I'm still on my original spark plug at 132 hours, so I wouldn't say that needs to be replaced all the time. I'm going to be running a synthetic blend today, 10W40. Check what your manufacturer recommends for your climate. 10W40 is perfect for us. On the sump plug, I like to just give it a good clean. There is a crush washer here. You should replace this every time. However, I tend to do about 2-3 services, and then I replace that crush washer. But you can just inspect it, make sure that it's good. You want to clean the surface under the bike. Get this back in. When you're tightening it down, you just need to snug it on. It doesn't need to be ultra tight. You got to remember your casings are aluminium, so it's very easy to tear those threads out. Just where it's snug. I don't need any tighter than that. Now here, the O-ring has stayed behind, so we just want to pull that out, give that a nice clean as well. And if there's any dirt sitting around this lip, you just want to wipe it out. Hope the lighting's not too bad, but that's out. Put this back on the dipstick. You don't have to do this with a funnel if you're really accurate, but I'm not. Pop that there. I'm going to go ahead and run about 900 ml first. I can always top up at a later date, but to take oil out when you've put too much, that's a mission. So I'd rather put a bit less now, and I can always top it up if it looks like I'm a bit low. This is what makes these pit bikes one of the best things. I just do a little oil service every 10 hours, clean that air filter out. Barring that, maintenance is extremely low. It's more tires and chains that you need to replace. A little bit more. Okay, that should do it on the oil front. I'm going to run it for about 2-3 minutes and then check my oil levels, just once oil's gone all around the motor like it should. You really want to be responsible with your used oil, so if you can, find a used motor oil drum, go dump it in there. This way it doesn't work our way into the water systems. It comes and gets collected and recycled. Now after you've run the bike, you've checked your oil level and everything's looking good, you just want to go underneath and check on your sump plug that everything is dry under here. If it is, you're good. If it's not, give it a little bit of a tweak there. Make sure it's not leaking, because you don't want to be mid-ride and lose all your oil. For this part, I would highly recommend a set of gloves, just so that you're not getting that sticky oil filter oil all over your hands. It tends to not really want to come off with much. So there's 4 of these 8mm bolts here. The bottom 2 are quite easily accessible with a ratchet. There we go. Now this whole front cover will come off, and you can just slide it across. Whoa, you can see that air filter has worked hard. Oh my word, look at this, all this grass and stuff in here. Dr. Rob is in the building. Oh no, already torn a glove. Okay, there we go. So your biggest thing, obviously you can see the front is extremely dirty. See how there's no dirt on the back side of it. If it looks like you're getting any dust behind where the filter needs to sit, then you know it's bypassing your filter and you need to clean this more regularly, obviously depending on your climate. I'm just running a little bit of foam filter cleaner. I used to just keep it in this tub, but the tub didn't seal properly, so I started losing it to evaporation. So now I just pour out a little bit when I need it. Check this out, guys. We're going to let it soak in there. Oh yeah, the gloves really don't like the foam filter cleaner, so I try to be quick with this. Okay, you can see the color of the liquid already. So we'll give this a rinse, let it dry, sit in the sun for a little bit. We'll get back to this. Just to speed up the process a bit, I'm just using a bit of compressed air at a low pressure. I don't want to tear a hole in this air filter. Great, now that can sit out in the sun before we oil it. Air filter is nice and clean, it's dry. I've got some air filter oil over here. Let's get that soaked on there. Take your hands, squish it in. That oil is going to trap all that dirt, so you want to get a nice layer in. This pre-filter doesn't detach on the 110s. You can see it's glued on, but it's all good. As long as you got oil in it, you're going to be good. There we go. Fitment on the bike, you've got this little piece over here, and that lines up with the pin that's in the airbox, so you can only get the orientation in one way. That pops in there. Make sure it's sealing up against all the edges. The front of the airbox is also nice and clean, just got that back from being in the sun. The drain goes on the left side of the bike, well, if you're on the bike obviously. That pops back there. You got your 4 bolts here. Okay, now that they're hand tight, I'll just go with the ratchet just to snug them down. And just like that, you've done your general service on your Crf110f. Should be able to start it right up. There we go.